Hello, my name is Jacob, and I am a Norse Pagan, and I'm coming to you from the beautiful Kentucky River on this amazing day. And today I want to show you an offering to Odin that I did in Colorado. And the reason I wanted to film this next to the water is because in Colorado this offering took place near the water as well, which had to do with the ritual and offering itself. So what I'll be playing for you throughout the duration of this is basically the adventure leading up to the offering itself, then showing it to you. And so while out in Colorado, my friends in the community, Logan and Mary, were out there as well, and we wanted to explore the mountains and see something beautiful in our time there. Only problem was we didn't have much time, and so we had to choose a place that was relatively close that we could still see something beautiful. And so we ended up choosing a place that was about an hour and a half away, and we were leaving at 3 o'clock, so that meant we only had about an hour and a half to get there, and then an hour or two to actually hike before sunset. And the reason we ended up choosing this place is because it had 3 mountain lakes and there was potential of seeing a moose. And of course, as soon as I said this, Logan, our resident biologist, was just like, "A moose, you say?" And we ended up going there. It was a great trip over there. And what I want to show you right now is something we were able to capture on the way out there. And that is what I'm hoping is the new intro, or at least one of the more popular intros I use for this channel. So let's go ahead and take a look. It's pretty darn cool. I hope that intro was as cool to you as it is to me. Just capturing a raven as it's calling, flying right over my head in the mountains of Colorado. I immediately was like, thank you, Odin. This is now my new intro, or at least an intro I want to use fairly often. So that was just a really cool experience. The aspen trees were turning a golden yellow at this time, so it literally looked like the mountains were leaking gold. It was so beautiful. So once actually getting to the park, of course, we were still talking about the moose. We know they're dangerous. There were so many signs telling us they were dangerous, but it doesn't change the fact that we wanted to see one, because the chances of us seeing one in Kentucky are basically none. And so we walked on this trail, not even the trail, in the parking lot, about 30 feet before a mysterious old man comes out of nowhere and says, "Did you guys see the 2 moose that just ran through here?" We're like, what? So immediately there's a moose sighting. We didn't see it right away. We ended up heading down to the lake and taking the pictures. And then as soon as I started taking pictures of the lake, we turned around to that same old man waving us down. And the moose had actually settled in this grove, laying down. It was a bull. I guess since you call it a bull, you would call the other one a cow. So it was a moose cow, I guess. A male and a female moose were laying down in this field. We did end up getting fairly close to them. The video I'm showing you probably doesn't really do it justice, but we were probably 30 or 40 feet away from the cow and maybe 15 feet away from the bull, enough to see his gigantic antlers. Still a really cool experience, and amazing that we got to see these things right away. This didn't mean our adventure was over, however, because what I wanted to do here was leave an offering to Odin at one of the lakes that is like surrounded by mountains, and it reminded me of Switzerland so much, and I wanted to go there because I miss Switzerland, I miss the Alps, and so I was in the Rockies and I wanted that experience again. And so we set off to meet sunset on the mountain range right at a lake. And so we managed to get there after having an amazing adventure, seeing so many wonderful and beautiful things. The Rockies are just absolutely gorgeous. They are different than the Alps, but just as beautiful. So we ended up reaching the lake, and I set up my Odin idol, as well as like a little raven idol as I have as well that came from Germany, and I ended up giving an offering to Odin. So I'm going to go ahead and play the first part of this offering to allow you to experience it, play some wonderful music for you. And right after that offering, we're actually going to come back and talk about something else I did, which is why we're talking about this next to the water. So I hope you enjoy this offering, and I'll see you right after. Odin, somehow, some way, you've brought us here. Wanderers all. Fated moments bringing us together to see this beautiful sunset at this beautiful lake, 10,000 miles in the air. I couldn't have done it without you. So I say to you, Odin, hail, and thank you for the ravens, thank you for the moose, and to all the spirits that have graced us with your presence. Thank you. Hail, Odin. what this offering was really was just an offering of thanks for the journey that I was on. I was in Colorado, a place I didn't expect to be 3 weeks prior to filming this. And I was so thankful for the opportunity to wander that far and the opportunity to give that offering on the top of that mountain in that lake. What my eyes saw were enough to be thankful for. And so I wanted to give the offering to Odin. And not to mention Logan and Mary are from the original gathering as well. And we have been friends ever since. Basically, best friends since the moment that gathering happened. So love you both. Thank you for sharing this adventure with me. And I was thankful to Odin for you as well. So what I ended up doing after, which is not a very long thing to show you, but I can show you, is I threw my Odin idol into the water. And the reason I did this is obviously I do know that in pre-Christian Scandinavian and mostly Germanic times, giving offerings to water was something that was fairly common, but not something I necessarily do very often in this modern world because I'm worried about polluting the water, which is already polluted. You can see it right here. The water is super polluted and gross, and this is not something I want to contribute to. However, if it comes to something that is biodegradable or something that's not going to harm the environment, I'm a little bit more accepting of this type of offering. I additionally also read and finished Heathenry in the Sea by Dan Cultus, which is a book I'll be reviewing fully on this channel. And in there, it talks about giving offerings to the ocean. It talks about giving offerings to rivers and lakes, because this was something that, would have been done in the past. And a very interesting thing that really stuck with me that I read in Heathenry in the Sea was talking about the conversion of Iceland and how the main Gothi that went under a veil and talked with the gods, decided to come out and said the gods and him had decided that Iceland was going to convert to Christianity. And afterwards, he went and took his idols and threw them into a waterfall. And the idea behind it, I don't think it's proven, but the idea behind it, and something that Dan talks about in his book, is that the reason he did this is because the Christians would perceive it as him giving up his old religion. But what really he was doing was giving an offering to the old gods one last time, and knowing that the old gods would return one day. Again, nothing we can necessarily prove, but a really good sentiment. So with that in my mind, is when I decided to look at this idol to Odin that I had and decided to give it to the lake, as it's just a little stone idol. But it's not just a stone idol to me. This was like kind of my portable little Odin statue I took with me on journeys and trips. It's been to multiple gatherings. It's seen a lot of my adventures. It went with me to Germany. And so it had value to me, which made it a perfect offering to give to Odin, especially an offering of wandering, of thanks, of all the adventures I've been on. So I cast it into the lake and I was able to capture it in video. So here's that brief clip. You can't hear it in the audio, but you can hear it dropping into the water, and I do think it was kind of a powerful moment. I don't know why, but that offering really meant a lot to me. And maybe it's because it was so personal, because that idol was something that I really didn't want to give up. But that's what made it such a potent offering. The fact that it was tied to Odin, the fact that it's now sitting, that very idol sits 600 miles away, how many, 1,000 miles away in Colorado at the bottom of a lake. And one day, maybe, 60, 70, 80, or maybe next year, it's found by somebody and they find this idol to Odin sitting in this lake and they're like, what is this? And maybe that will begin someone's journey. I don't know what the future of that idol holds because it's not mine anymore. All I know is that it was an offering to Odin that I gave while in Colorado. And just overall, that experience was absolutely wonderful. Seeing the moose, seeing the beautiful nature, giving that offering and that trip, and seeing Heilung, of course, was absolutely amazing. So that's all I have for this video. I just wanted to share with you that offering to Odin that I did, because again, there's something on this channel I want to do is make sure I'm sharing my practice with you. Obviously not the entire practice, but at the same time, I want to share these small moments with you so that you know that when you're out there giving your own offerings and your own experiences, that we don't know 100% what the right answer on how to give an offering is. What matters is are you giving something of value that connects you with that deity? And this small idol to Odin offered in a lake in Colorado, to me, made me feel very connected to the Allfather. It made me very connected to the natural world around me. So I'm very thankful for that moment, and I'm very thankful for you watching this channel and watching my adventures. So go out there, give to the Allfather, give to whatever deity calls out to you, give to the land spirits and your ancestors, and I wish you all the best in your practice. And until the hall, Skull. content here at the Wisdom of Odin, including these offerings I give to the gods and share with you, please think about donating to Patreon. It's the only way I'm able to do this full time, but I do also make sure that I try my best to give back to you, so that's why through Patreon I offer the community Discord, I offer live streams, and I offer early access videos and your name potentially in the credits. Truly, thank you all so much for just watching this content, but thank you even more if you choose to help this community and help this channel grow even further. So thank you very much, and until the hall, once again, Skull.